Bora.
I'm Cedric Alonday. I'm B. Carino.
Alf Castro Bravo.
I'm Vigi Balan.
I'm Micaela Anyana.
I am Maribel Abriam.
Good morning, Mabuhay Pilipinas! I am Monique De La Paz, your news anchor for today. Well, it's exactly 8:30 in the morning. Have you eaten your breakfast yet? Well, if not, get your coffee, sit back and relax for here are headlines for today. Flour, considered as the main ingredient in baking. The sugar and its types. Leavening agents and its groups. Liquid ingredients as a volume and texture contributor of the product. Fats and oils. For our first news of the day, here are Ace Alonday and Ferdinand Orha to bring you the news.
4 kinds of flour. First, whole wheat flour, also called as graham or ether wheat flour, contain the compact of wheat kernel is original proportion. Whole wheat flour ay isang pulbos na sangkap sa isang unahing pagkain sangkap na nagtulak sa pamamagitan ng pagili o paghugas ng buong butil ng trigo na kilala rin bilang weaver at gamit sa pagluluto ng mga tinapay at iba pang mga pinupuno. Second is bread flour, also known as strong flour o hard flour. It has 12% to 14% gluten content. It has coarse texture, gritty, sandy, dry, and granular. Bread flour ay isang dalubhasang harina na may mataas na protina na inalalaan para pagluluto ng mga tinapay. Flour, widely known as general flour o pastry flour. It contains 10% to 11 gluten content. It is a combination of bread and cake flour. All-purpose flour ay isang versatile pangkalahatang gamitin harina. Tulad ng kahit ng pangalan lahat layunin ng harina ay angkop para sa lahat ng uri ng mga bake. Kalang tinapay, biscuit, pizza, cookie, muffin, at iba pa. Ginagamit din ito sa makapal na gravies at sauce. Last is cake flour. Prepare to soak, but it has 7% to 9% gluten content. It is ideal for cake cookies. This flour has velvety and smooth texture. Cake flour, unang ininumungkahi ng pangalan at madalas na tinatawag para sa mga cake, cupcake at ilang mga pastry recipe. Cake, lambot na trigo, mababang protina, harina na may isang pinong texture mula sa dulo ng trigo.
Other forms of flour. There are 4 other forms of flour. First, the enriched flour. Second, the self-rising flour. And the third, the quick mixing flour. And the last is the non-wheat flour. The first is the bleach flour. This flour is processed from grain to remove the bran and the germ. Bleached with to widen appearance and reformulated with nutrients such as thiamine, riboflavin, niacin, vitamin D, and iron and calcium, added in accordance with established government guidelines. However, the removal of the oily germ helps the flour to keep for much longer periods. The second one is self-rising flour. It's versatile as it contains an average amount of protein. Self-rising flour is a mixture made up of regular flour, baking powder, and salt. And you can make your own by combining a 1 cup all-purpose flour and 1 1/2 teaspoon baking powder and 1/4 teaspoon fine salt, and you will automatically get the nice rise out of your baked goods every time you use a self-rising flour. And the third is quick mixing flour. This is also called as one-grass special flour. This kind of flour can make a delicious smooth sauces and gravies easily without lumps. Quick mixing flour can also use in making cakes, cookies, and breads too. One drop flour is quick and easy flour for today's lifestyle. Last but not the least is the non-wheat flour. It's a product obtained by grinding grains, nuts, legumes, and some fruits and vegetables. Non-wheat flour is not new at all. Most have been around since ancient times, nourishing entire civilizations, high in protein, and good source of fiber.
Sugar and its types. Let's hear it from Carino and Bravo.
6 types of sugar. First,
Granulated sugar. Granulated sugar is highly refined multi-purpose sugar. It's also sometimes called refined table or white sugar. When people talk about sugar, this is usually what they're talking about. Granulated sugar is made from sugar cane and sugar beets. It's also the most common type of sugar used in cooking and baking. Number 2, castor sugar. Castor sugar is super fine granulated white sugar. Because the crystals are so fine, they dissolve much quicker than standard granulated white sugar, which makes it ideal for making meringues, syrups, and cocktails. Number 3, confectionery sugar. Also referred to as powdered sugar and 10-time sugar, this is a type of white sugar that has been ground into a fine powder. To prevent clumping, a small amount of cornstarch is typically blended in a small amount of corn starch. Confectionery sugar easily dissolves in liquid and is ideal for making icing and frosting, as well as decorating baked goods. Number 4, pearl sugar. Sometimes called meat sugar or white sugar. Pearl sugar is a variety of white sugar that has a coarse, hard textures and opaque color. It also holds its shape and doesn't melt when exposed to high temperatures. Pearl sugar is commonly used in Scandinavian baking to decorate pastries, cooking, and buns. Number 5, sanding sugar. Sanding sugar is used mainly for decorating. It has large crystals which are fairly resistant to heat and add extra texture and crunch to cookies and other baked goods. You can find sanding sugar in a rainbow of colors. And last, number 6, demerara sugar. Demerara sugar is a variety of raw cane sugar that is minimally refined. It has large grains with an amber color and a natural subtle molasses flavor used to sweeten coffee or tea, or as a topping on baked goods like muffins, scones, cookies, and calzas.
Other types of sugar. So the first one is panucha. Panucha is a solid mass of crude sugar, usually in half cocoa shell shape. So I think the panucha is made by the melted brown sugar. And we have other kinds of panucha. One of the example is anat panucha. Anat panucha is a very common dessert in our country, Philippines. So let's go with the second one. And the second one is a lump sugar. The lump sugar is white and porous. They have two kinds of lump sugar, the yellow and the white. The yellow is sweeter than white. This kind of lump sugar can buy in the department store. And the shape of the sugar is cube. So let's go with the third one. So the third one is molasses. Molasses is an unrefined sugar that is liquid form, black in color, and very thick and in consistency. The molasses or chocolate syrup is made by the sugar cane, and this type of sugar common in pancakes and chocolate fountains.
Now let's have VG Belen to report the egg as the second main ingredient in baking. Belen?
Eggs. Eggs play an important role in our baked goods. Egg adds structure, color, flavor to our cakes and cookies. Quality of eggs. Exterior egg quality based on texture, color, shape, soundness, and cleanliness. Fresh egg has a clean and unbroken shell. Shell should be smooth, clean, and free with cracks. Parts of eggs. There's two parts of eggs, which is the egg white and the egg yolk. Egg white, the white part, is the best source of protein with a few calories, while the egg yolk carries the cholesterol, fats, and the bulk of overall calories.
leavening agents, and its group. Etes Aranyana, bring the news.
These are the three groups of leavening agents: the air, water or steam, and carbon dioxide. First, what is leavening agent? Leavening agent is a substance that produces gas while mixing or heating. Number 1 is air. Air is a mixture of flour and liquid with other ingredients such as leavening agents, shortenings, sugar, salt, eggs, and various flavoring materials that causes bread, cakes, and other baked goods to rise when they go in the oven. The next one is the steam. Steam is a simply water vapor produced when the water in your dough reaches 212 Fahrenheit and vaporizes. The last one is the carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is generated from the reaction of an acid with the base in the presence of heat and mixture.
Carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is also a leavening agent. Carbon dioxide is formed in food by the composition of bicarbonate, by the chemical reaction of sodium bicarbonate with an acid, or by the biological action of microorganisms. Chemical leavener have two products, the baking soda and the baking powder. Baking soda can be used with an acid ingredients. So if you are going to use baking soda, always remember to use a acid ingredients like butter, brown sugar, lemon juice, or salt. Baking powder. Baking powder can use in any ingredients because it is already have acid that present on it. Baking soda and baking powder can release carbon dioxide more quickly. Yeast is a biological leavener. Yeast is a fungus and it is alive. When yeast metabolize sugar for energy, it creates two byproducts, the carbon dioxide and the alcohol. Carbon dioxide is good for baked goods because it makes them rise, while alcohol enhances the flavor of the baked goods. Yeast produce gas very slow. So, if you will use yeast, set it aside and wait for it to expand.
Leavening agent is the filter of a product. Let's hear it from Abriam and Kampahinan.
Milk is a nutrient-rich white fluid secreted from a mammary gland of female mammals. Milk as baking ingredients added color and flavor to the baked goods. This also increased water absorption of dough, where dough will become softer compared to dough made with water, and this considered as dough strengthener. Milk also added a volume to the dough and longer shelf life because of milk fat. The most common form of milk in baking is non-fat dry milk or skimmed milk. The shelf life of dry milk is longer than liquid and easier to bulk transport. Dry milk helps to improve the texture and mouthfeel of baked goods, create a strong butter or dough from the protein, and add fat and sugar to help provide a crisp, color, and flavor. There are types of milk, namely liquid milk, non-fat dry milk, evaporated milk, condensed milk, and we have also substitutes or alternatives if you don't have milk at the moment, which is the almond, soy, rice, and oats. Next, cream. According to research, cream is the fatty liquid that forms a layer on the top of milk prior to homogenization. A process of continuous centrifugation separates cream. The centrifugal force causes natural separation of the fat globules from the milk syrup. Next is the fruit juices. We all know that fruit juices have a strong flavor and that can be taken directly. Fruit juices is much sweeter and acidic than milk. That made the overall cake will be slightly sweeter, and to power the chemical leavening while neutralizing some overall acidity in the baking powder added in the mixture. And must remember that juice cannot be used as a substitute to milk. Instead, fruit juices are best substitute in baking products that needs baking soda as an ingredient.
Is a substance composed by chemical elements, hydrogen and oxygen, and may exist in gaseous, liquid, and solid state. It is the one of the most plentiful and essential of compounds, a tasteless and odorless liquid of room temperature. It has important ability and dissolve other substances. Water is served as a solvent and disappearing agent for salt, sugar, and gas. Water is necessary for use, fermentation, and reproduction, and softer dough will ferment more quickly than dry doughs.
Fats and oils. Body contains a good amount of saturated fat, a type of fat that can be found in foods such as meat and dairy products. Butter adds flavors with a melting point just below the temperature of the body, which is why some baked products tend to melt in your mouth just like the cookies. It gives richness, tenderness, and structure to cakes, cookies, pies, and pastries. There are different types of water, such as unsalted, salted, clarified, organic, whipped, and many more. But the bakers prefer to use the unsalted water, for it is easier to manage the salt content in a dish. Margarine are mainly made of vegetable oil and water. It may contain several additives, such as colorants and emulsifiers. The more solid the margarine, the more trans fat it contains, so stick margarines usually have more trans fat than top margarines do. It has long been choice ingredients for bakers, as its soft textures make it like work to whip up into a white cream frosting. Hydrogenated fats. Hydrogenated shortenings are the biggest group of fats. They are versatile fats that are good for creaming ability. They are made much the same oil as margarine, and it has 100% fat with no water. They can keep well for 6 to 9 months. Lard obtained from the fatty tissues of pig with a water content of 12% to 18%, but it won't taste like a pork. With the dietary concerns, lard gradually lost much of its former popularity, but still extensively used for yeast dough additions, pie pastries, and pan greasing. It has fibrous textures and doesn't cream well, therefore it's not suitable for cake making. Lard has less cholesterol and saturated fat than a butter. Pie crust, biscuits, and donuts are some examples of baked products that can be made with lard. Vegetable oils. Oils in baking can help prevent a dry cake. Canola oil is considered as the best and healthiest type of oil for baking, for it has the most neutral flavor compared to the other types of oils. The biggest function of oil in baking is to keep your product moist, and using a vegetable oil is the best choice. Plus, it is also considered that vegetable oil is a heart-healthy oil. And for our additional report, for the other ingredients that can be used in baking, here is VJ Belen to bring you the news.
This is the other ingredients that you can use in baking. Vegetables. Vegetables may seem like an unusual ingredient to use in baked goods, but this style of cooking is actually the perfect combination of savory comfort and earthy wholesome flavor. It's not about hiding vegetables to make them more digestible. It's about using them to their fullest potential to add depth, spice, and bite of crunch. Fruits. In cake and muffin butter, dried fruits will hydrate with the ingredient water or added moisture while remaining suspension during baking. They will plump to a desirable post-baked texture. With cookie dough and bars, dried fruits will provide superior texture and maintain consistency throughout shelf life. Oats. Oats are underutilized grain in baking, but they are a great way to add flavor and nutrition to a variety of baked goods. Adding rolled oats alters the texture, flavor, and nutritional value of baked items by creating a healthy, mildly nutty flavor while boosting fiber intake. Cheese. In baking, cheeses have different functions. Soft cheese mixed with other ingredients are used in filling pastries and coffee cakes. They are used to certain European deep-fried goods. such as cannoli. They may also be used sometimes in combination with richer cream cheese for cheesecakes.
Again, I am Monique De La Paz, your news anchor for today. This is 24 News. Keep safe and mabuhay Pilipinas!